Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. Definitely, I'm here talking about the Candid Talk. And of course, as usual, we keep you updated with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place in this country and across the borders. My good name is Evans Okinyi. And this fine morning, I'm joined by my resident guest here, Wakili Willie Sotiano. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
So far, we are still looking at what is taking place within our country. And of course, it's a very interesting moment historically in this part of the world. Now, let us have it this way. The last time we had a conversation with you, the MPs had not even tabled that motion of impeachment against the deputy president. But of course, as we talk now, it's just a matter of time before Gachagua appears, and therefore maybe to defend himself or so to say. But so far, so good. I've seen him assemble a battalion of lawyers who are there supposed to be defending him. I wonder what to make of this entire process engulfing the deputy president. Of course, all that is in there. Some people are saying that maybe he stands a chance of escaping this. But at the same time, there's some people who also say that his goose may be cooked. What do you say regarding this?
You know, as I told you the other time, in terms of the reasons to remove Gachagua,
yes,
those reasons are hogwash. Because Gachagua says what Murima. William Ruto's appointments speak the opposite.
Okay.
He's the most tribal of the two of them. Gachagua just voices it. And if you ask me, the removal of Gachagua has nothing to do with the law. It's more to do with the politics of it. And in the politics, look at it this way. This is William Ruto sitting there, having been elected by almost 57% of his votes came from the mountain. And Gachagua is asserting himself as the leader of that mountain. In other words, he's telling William Ruto, I'm the one holding the key to your presidency.
Okay.
He's trying to assert himself the leader of the mountain. So of course William Ruto is insecure. That is the reason why Gachagua is being removed. It has got nothing to do with what he said about Murima. It has nothing to do with what he said about CG, the properties acquired. William has acquired far much more than Gachagua. So it's purely a case of William Ruto is seeing himself being held hostage. So he's trying to get rid of Gachagua.
How is William Ruto's acquisition related to Gachagua's? I think everybody here should be dealt with differently.
I am saying if we were going on the question of law, there's a bigger thief. There's a robber in the house and there's a pickpocket.
Okay.
Do you start with the pickpocket or with the robber? You start with the robber. Okay. So what I'm telling you, do not analyze Gachagua's impeachment within the legal preamble. This is purely political. And William Ruto is using him as an example to teach all these other Cheges that I can remove any of you. I'll succeed with Gachagua, whoever I'm going to appoint, and any of you who are still serving in my administration, you're all dispensable. And that is still part of him trying to get legitimacy for himself. It was two fronts. Assert his authority on the Kikuyu battalion supporting him, or in his government, that all of you are dispensable. If I could remove Gachagua, who are you? And number two, he was thinking he was going to get public legitimacy by throwing Gachagua to the wolves to eat. And you hope the country will focus energy on removing Gachagua. But the people of Kenya, in their referendum on William Ruto last week, unanimously decided that they must all go. Kufa dereva, kufa makanga, hata his other Kamagera. Go for the passengers as well. Dissolve parliament, all of it, dissolve the presidency, let them all go. Because on 25th of June, we took away our sovereignty from them. We are working with our sovereignty in our pockets. And that has not changed. So what is changing is William Ruto trying to find a way in which he can remove any internal dissent or to leave an opportunity for somebody within his political circle to assert himself as a formidable player. That is what Gachagua, unwittingly, when he thought he was trying to appeal to Murima, he was unwittingly telling his co-principal that he is the holder of the largest vote basket. That principal has decided, I'm going to take it. I'm the one who got those votes directly, running them directly. But they have gone.
Well, I want us to have a different conversation, of course, later on some of these critical governance issues that were unearthed by Kenyans during that public participation forum. But then make me understand this. Of course, you here saying that the 10 grounds that were raised by the member of parliament who actually proposed this particular bill here to have the deputy president removed out of office do not meet the legal threshold, that is. Is that your stand up to now?
That's my stand. Those are misdemeanors.
So under what grounds are the deputy
Because
deputy president
there are
going to
three
be
grounds.
impeached here?
Gross violation of the constitution, convicted if he's committed a crime under the law, or gross misconduct. Gross misconduct is so wide. What will constitute gross misconduct? And then what is misconduct? If Gachagua says what wa Murima, can that qualify to be gross misconduct or that is misconduct? It will be misconduct but not gross, in my view, to warrant an impeachment. Because by the time you're impeaching a deputy or a president, there must be what you call national outrage for it to constitute gross misconduct. Gachagua has said Murima here for the last 1 year, we are all not even paying attention to him. No one cared about him. And no one cares about him even today. So it is not about fulfilling the requirements of the law.
Okay.
It is purely a case of William Ruto trying to assert himself to those who follow him and are in his camp, that all of you are dispensable. You must all now be loyal to me. Otherwise, I will remove you. That is one way. The other way, he thought he was going to satisfy the masses by throwing Gachagua for us to eat. The masses have said, all of you to go. Gachagua is just Ugali Sosa. The main meal is William Ruto. All of you should go. So they are not buying what William Ruto was expecting to get out of the public participation exercise. They thought there was going to be an outpouring of emotions of people demanding for Gachagua to go.
Okay.
But people went not just for Gachagua, but for all of them to go. So it has nothing to do with the law. You make a great mistake when you try to understand this thing from a legal standpoint.
Okay.
Because in my view, the misconduct that is alleged is not gross to warrant an impeachment.
So none of the 10 counts actually here meet
In
the
my
legal
view,
threshold
because
for
even
you.
if you look at some of those properties that are listed, that is hotels that is acquired. I mean, Gachagua will tell you these are from my late brother. He's the executor of the will. So where do you catch him on that one?
Okay.
Unless you're seeing movement of money to him, then you charge him for criminal offense. And you don't go under gross misconduct. You go for committing a crime as a ground of removal. But the grounds they are going on is gross misconduct, not a crime. Because for a crime, he should have been in court one, taking plea.
What about the one of the charges that has actually made the talk of town here, the issue about his depiction of the country as a shareholding kind of entity. Maybe these people actually do reason that whatever he said back then does not actually embody the spirit of nationhood and national unity, as the presidency should be doing that.
You see, I'm not defending Gachagua. And in fact, I want him to go with William Ruto.
Yes.
But give the devil his dues. Those things that you are saying were said more than 1 year ago. And the people are now baying for his blood were cheering him as he was saying them. That's what I say, idle political talk that was being consumed by Kenya Kwanza. The same brigade that was cheering him are the ones now trying to use that. And it is one thing to say political talk. It's another thing to do. What has he done beyond saying shareholders? What has he done? So yes, Gachagua has an acerbic tongue. But that acerbic tongue, how it has been used, in my view, does not add up to gross misconduct. It is misconduct, but will not qualify to be gross misconduct. I will pay more attention to the person who is keeping quiet. But in terms of his action, he is portraying a nation that is divided, that is exclusive.
Okay.
He is set up that there's a cadre of Kenyans from a particular region who must occupy certain positions.
Okay.
And that is what Kenyans should be focusing on. Not someone who is talking idle talk in political rallies or in churches where they have paid the pastors to give them an audience. That should not be something that is qualified as gross misconduct. So Gachagua's ills that are presented, his presented ills, don't amount to gross misconduct, in my view. They are misconduct, but not gross misconduct. So let's go back to the real issue.
Okay.
The real issue is Kenyans are dissatisfied with Kenya Kwanza, William Ruto and his people. They want all of them to go. So even if they remove Gachagua, the problems that led us to where we are today, will they be resolved? Chief Shah is now turning to be a shakahola. Kenyans are dying because they cannot access medical services. Look at university students. More universities closed indefinitely. There's no learning going on there because of mismanagement of that institution. Go and look at what they are doing in the JSS teachers. Go and look at what they did to NCPB farmers who are getting fertilizer from NCPB. I mean, it's chaotic. Look at the size of our debt. They've overborrowed from illegally borrowed money in our names.
Okay.
We don't know which projects that money has funded. Our economy is collapsing.
And that's why I told you I want us to get into that conversation on where this actually is going to lead maybe the president, if he does that successfully. But I want us to get this off. First of all, the issue of the legality with this whole entire impeachment process here, Wakili. Now that you are saying that these 10 grounds do not actually meet the legal threshold that would warrant his removal from office, and definitely his lawyers already are getting ready to actually present their case and defend their client before the members of parliament. If at all these grounds here are political and therefore are not legal at all, would you then say that maybe Gachagua stands a chance?
I will not say it stands a chance. Because this is a political process.
Okay.
It's not a legal. Like I've told you it was legal, Gachagua will have been impeached the week after he said Watu wa Murima, shareholders. He will have been impeached then. It took almost more than 1 year for the impeachment to come. So what law are you following? There's no law. Look at the public participation they were doing. It's not being done in accordance with the law. So forget and stop looking at this thing as if it's a legal process.
Okay.
This is a political process. And it is bereft of any law. The law is just a convenient platform through which to achieve the political objective of all of this.
So being political, as you say, do you see him escaping? Let me say at parliament level.
It will be hard of him to escape because the people to whom he has been dancing are the people who are coming to cut his neck.
Okay.
As it is said in Shakespeare, to whom the bell tolls. The bell today tolls for Gachagua. Okay. And the wolves are coming for his neck. I don't know what will save him from
that. Will mean because the members of parliament here are actually insisting that their reasons are very legal, and therefore they're trying to perhaps sway Kenyans that they're not that political, because they're trying to convince us that these
but it is clear for all to see.
Okay, now that's it's clear for all to see. Let's
that it is
assume
there's nothing legal in the impeachment.
Okay, assuming
it is purely political witch hunt.
Okay.
And as I've told you, to whom the bell tolls. Today, the bell tolls for Gachagua.
Okay.
You will also see more and more of people in Kenya Kwanza to whom, when the bell will toll, their necks will be put on the chopping board. Today, the bell is tolling for Gachagua.
Okay.
Tomorrow, the bell will toll for somebody else, maybe Chungwa, maybe Ndindi, maybe Kindiki. But all we know is the bell will keep tolling, and one by one, they will all go and take their position on the chopping board. Regardless
of the explanations that will be given by the lawyers representing the deputy president, you still say that our MPs are likely to pass that bill all the way?
But if already 290 of them have signed for him to be impeached, were they satisfied? They had the evidence.
Of course.
Where did they hear the evidence? They've not heard from Gachagua, but they've signed for him to be impeached. That's why I'm telling you, stop looking at it as a legal process.
Okay.
This is political. People who are signing for an impeachment, even before hearing the evidence, they're already signing in overwhelming numbers. And from what you are hearing out here, some of them are being paid to sign.
We move from the parliament. Let's get to the Senate. Do you believe that we could actually witness or rather see a voice of reason therein?
Who is the voice of reason in the Senate? King. You're optimistic, my friend. There's nothing in that Senate. What do you think will happen to those? Those are Parliament of Kenya. Those are William Ruto's poodles. Kuchi poodles for William Ruto. They'll do whatever William asks them to do.
Okay.
Those are the same people who said with a petition and force. They petition the finance bill. Until the people of Kenya said we'll know where the force bill lies. They all coiled and amended clause by clause the entire Finance Act 2024.
Okay.
So they'll take instructions from William Ruto. Why do you think that Gachagua has a chance? Unless, by happenstance, William Ruto calls back his attack dogs.
Okay.
But now he has shown his hand. They've gone too far. How will he buy their loyalty
Okay.
for
Now
future engagement? It will be impossible.
Now, the last time we had a conversation here, if at all I'm following keenly, is that the Senate, definitely, on your view, it's that you expect them to pass it through. And that would mean that the Deputy President would stand impeached. Then you told me here that he has got the opportunity to seek legal redress and take this to the courts.
Yes.
Now, let's bring in the courts here, because definitely the judges there are not as political as the members of parliament here and maybe the senators that we have in this country. So therefore, would you say that now that these grounds here, according to you, do not meet the legal threshold, would there be an escape route for him maybe after seeking
There will be an escape route for him in the courts, but I will not put my faith in the hands of the courts.
Why?
Because there's what we call judicial avoidance. And sometimes courts exercise restraint when it comes to political issues. And this may be one. He has a chance in court. If you are going to go it purely on law, he may have a fighting chance in the courts. But judicial avoidance may sway the court not to meddle into how William Ruto mismanages his coalition. And they may keep off. So he has a chance, but if I were in his legal team, I will not put my faith in the courts.
Talk to me about the principle of separation of powers and independence and interdependence of all these arms of government and how all that comes to work out in this entire process.
So you want to tell me, Gava, Parliament that always licks William Ruto's feet is independent?
But at least let's have the judiciary in here,
that's a theoretical argument, because the separation of powers exists on paper. But look at the conduct of members of Parliament. What have they ever done against William Ruto's wishes? Until they were breached and people attacked them. They were stoned because they forgot their responsibility.
So at least
separation of powers exists in the Constitution, but in practice, you have a ridiculous Parliament.
So the Parliament may be ridiculous, according to you. Now let's get to the other arm of the government, that is the Judiciary. And that is where actually we come in and we bring in the Judiciary here. And you're telling me here that they can actually exercise some sort of restraint whenever handling these political issues.
As part of that, there's a lot of jurisprudence on that issue. Many a times courts adopt the principle of judicial restraint or avoidance, where they try to avoid to engage in political processes. Gachagua's impeachment is political in this particular instance, because as I've told you, in my view, what is alleged will not constitute gross misconduct. Gross misconduct. And we are not talking about misconduct. This is gross misconduct. That's the ground they are going on. I don't think it will meet the threshold. So if you're relying on the courts may decide, I'm not saying they will, they may opt for judicial avoidance and not want to venture into that kind of a process by seeking to rearrange or to organize the political establishment. So it's a tough luck, but he can try. As we can only wish him, luere, Gachagua, Nyasaya Hulinde.
That's all you can wish him.
That's all you can wish. You can wish him all the best. He's a victim of his own success, because he was a successful attack dog for William Ruto. But today, the bell tolls for Gachagua. To whom the bell tolls. You're told the bell today tolls for Gachagua. He's now on the chopping board. The only person who can save him is the person who released the dogs. The person who let the dogs out is the only person who can save him. If he thinks the dogs will save him, the dogs will maul him. If he thinks the courts will save him, the courts may avoid. But the master of the dogs, if at all, and I don't see how he's going to pull back. But in politics, anything is possible. He may as well save him. But that's the only place where his fate lies, as we see today.
So you're saying not even the Judiciary, not even Parliament, not even the Senate, his fate lies with the President William Ruto?
Yeah, he's the owner of the dogs, and he has released his hounds. The hounds are coming for flesh. He's the only one who can call them back, nobody else.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Wakili Willis Otieno here. You just heard what I said in regards to what is actually taking place right now. We expect a very serious debate on this issue tomorrow. But remember, our team is on the ground and we'll keep you updated with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place within the presence of Parliament, and we'll do a follow-up all the way till the end of this matter. Stay tuned for some of our programs that will be coming up next. Daryl Kabiro is always here, as well as Richard Mwenje from the Candid Talk family. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for being part of us. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.